TruthSeekah and or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the TruthSeekah podcast.
Gargoyles! Psychics! Everything's ungodly! Dark's at it!
Streaming live at TruthSeekah.com.
She's not a Christian!
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff!
And now, your host, TruthSeekah.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm TruthSeekah. This is the TruthSeekah podcast. Excited, delighted, as always, to be with you guys. I feel like it's been a while. There's been a couple weeks where I was doing one show a week, and the guest had stuff come up. The guest had backed out, or they had something come up. So there was 2 weeks where there were no shows, and then there was a third week where I was like, I have to do a show. I have to do something. So I ended up doing a recorded show with my friend Daniel Adams, which was really good. And so that wasn't live, but it was recorded and it's now up. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure you go check out the episode I did with Daniel Adams. And beautiful brother, good stuff. But I'm excited for real to be with you guys again. And man, just to connect, to see what's been up with you guys. Make sure you let me know where you're listening from in the comments, what's going on with you. If you have any questions or concerns for the podcast, go ahead and post those in the comment section now, and let me know where you're at, man. Just a really quick update before we get started with today's conversation. Want to let everybody know that if you believe in this podcast, if you believe in my work, please go over and support me via Patreon. Patreon allows me to continue to do what I'm doing at this level and to go beyond. I'm working on an album, White Magic, that's almost done. I'm waiting for some features and waiting, honestly, to get the funds together to be able to pay some of the people to be on the album, to be able to pay for their studio time and get on the project. So if you want to support, now's the perfect time. One of the cool things that you get by supporting on Patreon during this time is the fact that I am working on an album, and once the album artwork is complete, which will be this month or next month, it's going to be very soon, your name will be in the album artwork. So once you get the CD or album, whatever we do, your name will be in there somewhere, forever embedded in that project, because you are a co-creator. I can't do this without you. I've gone so far to say I wouldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for co-creating with me. It means the world. Patreon.com/TruthSeekah. And when you sign up, you get to listen to all the music that's already there. There's 200 plus songs. You also get to listen to all of the songs that's created for the project already. Now, some of them are being edited. There's different mixes and masters. There's different re-records of the verses and stuff like that. So, but you're hearing everything as soon as it's done. As soon as I get done with it on my end, it's uploaded there. So you get access to a lot of really cool stuff. So patreon.com/TruthSeekah. Make sure you check it out. I need your help. I need your support. It means the world. Also, something else that we have going on. This is something that's bigger, that I'm able to incorporate some of my friends that we do over on the Mystic Circle, and we do these monthly webinars. We've got some pretty cool people lined up. We've already had some cool webinars. We work with healers and psychics and seers and mystics and everybody who comes together and brings their gifts to the table. And so if you haven't heard or you don't know who's going to be on our next webinar, I'm just going to play this really quick clip, see if you can hear this and figure out who it is.
Excuse me while I levitate, escaping denser states, vibrate and resonate, translate to subtle from the base. Hubble telescopes the gate, my shuttle shuffle great. I'm gone, up and away. You didn't know we descended masters, must have forgot before and after.
Anyway, that is my friend Illuminati Congo, who's going to be leading psychedelic DMT breathwork over on the Mystic Circle. That's going to be June the 24th. So if you're a member, you get access to that. If you just want to get single tickets, you can buy single tickets to be a part of that as well. June the 24th, Illuminati Congo will be leading psychedelic DMT breathwork, and obviously you guys who know me know that I can't say his name enough. He's a good friend. He's a stand-up guy. He's going to be on the album. He's been essentially on all of my albums. And I'm waiting to get 2 tracks from him back to be on White Magic as well. So when it comes to breath work, and I lead Sunday morning breath work on the Mystic Circle as well, everything that I know, my passion for breath work, the stuff that I've learned, didn't come from Wim Hof. Wim Hof is like the big mainstream breath work guy. There's other people who are popping up. But back before all of that stuff was popular in the mainstream, which it is now, and it's a good thing, there was Illuminati Congo, John Hooks, who was teaching rebirthing breath work. And so I just got to always give a shout out to him. And that's where my passion comes from doing breath work with John Hooks. And you guys get to do it with him on this one-on-one session. So make sure you check it out, themysticcircle.net. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's discussion. We've been talking about this episode and trying to plan it for a while, but we're here. We're making it happen. My friend, Anna Dorothy. Anna, welcome to the TruthSeekah podcast, my friend. How are you?
Hi, yay, thank you, TruthSeekah. Thank you, everyone. Hi, we're excited.
Yeah, so we've been talking a while about making this happen and scheduling it, and here we are.
Finally. Talk about numbers, the magic of numbers.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so amazing.
Yeah, so much to say when it comes to that. Let everybody know where you're tuning in from, where you're calling in from.
So right now I am in the Yucatan in Mexico, in the peninsula of Yucatan, and it's very, very lovely. It's hot and warm and it's beautiful. I'm from Mexico City originally, and I've been just like kind of like living a semi-nomadic life for the last maybe like 3 or 4 years. I lived in Jerusalem for 2 years. I was like in India for a month and a half studying yoga. That was very cool. I came here. I was also with my partner in New York, in upstate New York. Right now we're here, so it's just like flowing, and yeah, excited to be talking to you and to everyone, connecting with everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So your passion is numbers. We're going to get into numbers, what they mean, ways to interpret them, ways that they're speaking to us, and those kind of things. But let's go back to the genesis, like with numbers. But if you want to go beyond numbers, maybe spirituality at first, like what got you into all of this? Your love for numbers, your love for spirituality. I like to go back to childhood. Usually it's something that happened when you were younger. But what is your genesis and that spark that was lit inside of you when it comes to spirituality?
I think with spirituality, talking about numbers, right? Like now understanding myself through numbers. I was born like the 9 of the 9 of the 90, just like a lot of nines, and the 9 is the number of the spiritual student, so it really makes sense. I feel like my connection with what I call like God or spirit, whatever name we use, to like call like the creator, like supreme consciousness. I think since I was a little child, I felt it, and I felt like God was like my friend, and I was like, I felt close to God, and to like my own way of seeing God, like a connection one-on-one. I remember my mom always told me, you don't need to go to a church, you don't need to go to a place, like you can you can connect to God. God is listening all the time, So that was super, super major for me. And then I just like leave, like the childhood, and then like I guess like during my young adulthood years, I completely forgot. Like I was in a very dark place. I was in a very just like betraying myself, betraying my values, just like in a very dense space. And then is when numbers found me. When I just gave up. One day I said, like, you know what? I don't have a purpose in life. I'm just like one more. And I come to like live and die, live and then die, and that's it. Like I'm not nothing is special with me. I give up. So that day, exactly that day when I said that, I met a numerologist. And the truth is that by that point of my life, I was very skeptical. I was like, numerology, astrology, like they're going to tell you you're gonna meet a man in your life, something like that. Like just like just like see your body language and read what's going on. And no, actually, when he started talking to me and he started telling me like very specific things of my life, of my own darkness, of my own my own self, I said, wow, this is real and I gotta learn it. So that was like the first time that I got into numerology. And yeah, we can even like say what is numerology if you want, for people who don't know what numerology is.
Yeah, we'll get into that. One thing that stuck out to me, what you just said, because it resonates with me as well, is you were at the end of your rope. You just like, I'm giving up. I gave up. There's this thing where you got to get to the end of yourself. You got to give up. You got to quit trying to make things happen. You got to quit trying to force something to happen.
Yeah.
Quit trying to force it and jump into the force, jump into the flow. And it's a surrender. It's a let go. Hey, I'm done with it. God, I'm at my wit's end. I'm done. Take it. Jesus, take the wheel, if you will. And then that's when everything happens. That's when the magic happens. And I've been in that place myself and sought God with tears in my dreams. It's like, yep, this is all in my head. It's never going to happen. I'm going to be driving a truck or digging a ditch or doing something I hate for the rest of my life. And hey, not everybody gets to be an entertainer. Not everybody gets to be a rapper. Not everybody gets to be a spiritual healer, right? And it was once I gave it up with tears. God caught those tears and said, hold on, we got this. Now I can use you. Now that you're broken, you're ready. That was your initiation. Does that sound similar to what you went through? I feel like we all have to pass through something very similar.
Yes, I love it. And I love it because I feel like the way that I see it now is that like kind of like a phoenix, no? Like I hear your story and I see you like a phoenix. Just like we need to go down to our darkness so we can also polarize to our light, right? We need to touch. And it's like a constant, I feel like it is a constant work of touching our darkness and turning it into light. But yes, for sure there needs to be a rebirth. And for that you need to like kind of die. You'll see. Yeah, it's kind of like what happened to us for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's weird. It's like Job in the Bible. Job's like, that thing that I feared has come upon me. Well, it's like, listen, you got to deal with the thing that you fear. And for most of us, it's our destiny. It's our dreams passing us by, and you got to deal with it. Feel it. Like, okay, even what does that feel like? Would it be okay? Would you still have love for the Creator? Or would you be mad? Would you be angry? You only love the Creator because he gives you what you want, like a genie. God, the Creator, is a genie for you. He gives you wishes. No. That's wrong. It's like, no, my adoration for life, for creativity, for art, no matter how it comes. And listen, when you prostrate yourself in that way, that's when things begin to happen. So that's just a blessing out there, us being open, honest, transparent about our walk. Listen, you gotta give up trying to make it happen. There's also a scripture that talks about like, if man build the house, like if you build this thing yourself with your own ingenuity, your own strength, your own ideas, that it's going to crumble, it's going to fail. But if you let God, if you let Spirit, if you let Source, that is the inspiration for it all to begin with, build it through you, then that thing's going to be stable and it's going to be a sure foundation. And it's really when we just take our hand away from it and just let it build itself, and it unfolds. Synchronicity, signs, symbols. And I believe that's what leads us to the next part, numbers. your love for
Yeah.
numbers, where they come in, how we can follow, how we can listen, how we can read them. Let's talk about numbers.
I love it so much. Thank you for bringing up just like the love for God. I think that is so, so important, and to, yes, to keep in mind constantly, that we are in this flow of the universe that is so important, and that like the creator, just like God has the control, we don't have it. And I think that's a lot about what 2021 comes to teach us, actually, with the 5, that is a number of power, and that like number of control and freedom and letting go of control. So yeah, numbers. I thank you so much. Specifically talking about purpose, right? I feel like that was for me what like made me give up, the feeling that I don't have a purpose in life. And I think that purpose, I found it again. I remembered my purpose through
Yeah.
numbers. So what are numbers, right? What is numerology? That's like a good place to like need to start the journey of numerology. So numerology is the study. It comes from Pythagoras, so it's like a 2,500-year-old science or project science, and it comes to basically from Pythagoras, and actually it developed also from the Chinese and from the Hebrews. Just like it has many places, but the main numerology that is known comes from Pythagoras, the Greek numerologist, yes, and mathematician. And it's basically the study of numbers, the study of the vibration of numbers. And what are numbers? Numbers are basically human symbols that we use to designate vibrations or frequencies in the universe, right? So that's it. Like they are human symbols that we use to designate frequencies. It's not that we are making up something, it's just that we are describing something that already exists in the universe. So the same happens with musical notes, right? So for example, like like do, re, mi, fa, like the musical notes, they are the same. They're just human symbols that are used to designate acoustic frequencies. So what's very, very cool is that if we know that we are all energy, right, as we know that the difference from one energy to another is just the length of the wave. That's it. Just like the length of the vibratory wave. That's it. And that is what we can measure with numbers. So it's amazing because numbers are found everywhere. Pythagoras said that numbers are like the essence or like the language of the universe. And it is true. There is no place in the universe where you cannot find a number. Numbers are everywhere, So yeah, it's super, super interesting to start understanding them and even communicating with them, because it's like consciousness, like live consciousness that also communicate with us, that exist in the universe, and they come to us in the shape of numbers. So it's super exciting. I'm excited to
Would that be
to talk
something
about it.
like we call angel numbers? Is that something similar? Like angels vibrate on these numbers sequences and stuff as well?
Angel numbers for sure are like a popular part of numerology, especially people saying like 333 and 444 and
Yep.
like repeated numbers. Yes, so these numbers, because they are like threefold or fourfold or repeated 4 times or 3 times, they have a more elevated vibration. So definitely they are vibrating these numbers in like angelic realms, or maybe not always necessarily angelic, but definitely of higher consciousness than only like human consciousness. So, but for example, for humans, we can vibrate on up to 2-digit numbers, right? So we vibrate to the 11, 22, 33. These are master numbers. And we also have the regular numbers 1 to 9 that have enough depth. You, for example, you in your own chart, looking at your chart, you have a 22 energy on you. And 22 is one of the highest and strongest energies and potentials that a human being can have. The 22 is the master builder. Very cool. Yeah, we can talk about your numerology also. What would you
Yeah,
like
let's
to?
do that. Let's talk about mine because I gave you my birthday and I gave you that before we went live, and you pulled it up, and you do one-on-one sessions and readings for people to look at their birth chart and numbers and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do one-on-one readings. I also do, well, numerology is amazing for a lot of things. So relationships, family numerology, you can understand. Also business numerology, if you're having like a specific business or the name, the day that it was born, it all tells us the energy that business, like it's a specific like a energy entity is going through. So you can know like a lot of cool things of what is going on for my business, etc., for my relationship, for myself, for my time, and all these the numbers describing the energy that is present right now and what this energy is calling for.
Okay. So I gave you my birthday. Do you want to go through the process, or do you just want to read the numbers? Like, how do you get it? And you talked about an app that you had created that helps you put these numbers in as well.
Yeah, so this program I created it to help me with the sessions, and just like it pops out, does all the calculations. But yeah, we can definitely go through how do you get the numbers for sure. So we all have we start from the date of birth. Okay, our birth date, if you think about it, this is the only number in our life that will never change. The only one. Every other number will change. You know, our age, our number of partners, of children, or any whatever, everything changes except for the birthday. So it's like our birthday is like a coordinate in the universe. And it tells us, okay, this specific year, of this specific month, of this specific day, TruthSeekah was born, you know? And what does this have to do with you? It's precisely like the coordinates of the spectrum of energy that you come to live throughout your life, and that you have the free will to either vibrate in a higher or in a lower like frequency of your own vibration, right? Of your own spectrum. So it's super, super cool. So there are four like main energetic like just like columns that we can see, or like the barcode of a person that is composed by four main numbers. So I can teach you, or you and everyone who is listening to this, how to calculate your own numbers. Okay, so the way we do it is the first number, so the first pillar, first case would be the month of birth. So whatever month of birth you were in, that is your first number. In numerology, we always reduce to one digit unless it gives us 11, 22, 33 that are master numbers. Okay, so for example, if you were born in December, so this is the 12th month, 1 plus 2, 3. So you would have in your first position a 3. But if you were born in August, August is the 8th month, so you would have there an 8. But if you were born in November, November is an 11th month, so it stays 11. Okay, very good. So in your case, your first position would be a number 1, right? Then, if the second position is the day of your birthday. The day of your birthday is like the number of your soul, where your soul is resonating. And again, we sum to one digit until it gives us only one digit. This is called theosophic reduction. So if you were born on an 18, right? 1 plus 8 is 9. If you were born in a 22, it stays 22, because 22 is a master number. If you were born in a 29, 2 plus 9, 11, it stays 11. And so. Okay. Now, the third position is the year of birth. And this is where we know, well, for you, your second position is an 8. And your year of birth, this is where we know that you through our 22, right? Because your year of birth gives us 22. And the 22 is a master number. I'm very happy to talk about your numbers, and we will. But yeah, you do the same. So if you were born in 1998, you sum 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8. And then you do it again until it gives us one digit. And then finally, remember always, if it gives you 11, 22, or 33, respect it. It's a master number. And then finally, the fourth and last position is all of your numbers. So all of your birthday come together digit by digit. And this is where all of your energy is going through. Like going to, where is the direction? This is your life mission or your life path number. This is actually the most popular number in numerology. People say like, oh, I'm a 4, oh, I'm a 5, I'm a 7. No, you're not a 5 or a 7. Like you're a conglomerate of energies that are seen through numbers, and 7 is where you're going, or 8 is where you're going, but you are more than just a number. That is also important to say. So in your case, TruthSeekah, your own pillars, or your barcode, so to speak, are 1, 8, 22, 4. Right? Where
does the 4 come from again?
So the last 4 is the sum of all of your numbers, of all of your birthday, summed one by one.
Okay. So each individual one, you add the year, which for mine is 1984, comes out to 22, and then we add them all together to get another number, right? Everything all together. Okay, great.
Yes. So just like to remember again, like to make it clear if it's not clear. The first pillar is the month, the second pillar is the day, only the day. The third pillar is the year, and the fourth pillar is all the pillars together. Yeah.
Got it.
This is super exciting. So okay. So would you like to see about your numbers, like what we see in your numbers?
Yes, for sure.
Very, very, very cool. Okay, cool. So a couple of things that are important to say. First is the second energy. Okay, so the 8 in you is the number of your soul. So your soul is vibrating on a number 8. The 8 is the number of the healer. It's the number of the shaman. It's the number of power, So the 8 means that you, first of all, you're an 8. So with the shaman, with the 22, that you're an old soul. You're a master, okay? You're a master, you're a teacher, you're an old soul. So first of all, respect to you, Master Truth Seeker, because you are a master and you cannot fake energy. So just like these numbers are telling us about like the journey that your soul has been through, in order to be at a 22, it means that you already transcended in this cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. So again, respect to you. But yeah, so the 8 is the number of your soul. The 1 is the number of how people perceive you from your chest out. So it's like you have two different parts of you, or two different personalities in you. Who you are from your chest in, so how you talk to yourself, how you interact with your inner world, and a different energy, who you are from your chest out, how you talk to others, how you interact with others. So inside you are an 8, and outside you are a 1. People can see the 1. We will talk about what they mean. Then the third position, that is the difficult position, that is where you have your 22. This talks about something that is stuck, something that hasn't been transcended. Okay, so it can be either from your lineage, something that is like karmic in your lineage, or it can be from your past lives. Usually the 22 is from past lives, but the 22, what tells us right now is that you come from past lives where you had the opportunity to build, had the opportunity to build on a large scale. That is the 22, the master builder, but you didn't, right? It's like you kind of like you fell short. Why? Because of your mind. The only thing that can bring 22 down is your own mind. So it's like in this time you come to build. You come to say like, I'm going for a 22. I'm going to take my power. I'm going to use it. And then your life mission, which is the 4, the builder. Okay, I would like to start also with the 1, because I think the 1 is a very cool number, and it starts your barcode, so to speak. And the 1 is someone who comes to open a new road, comes to open a new way. Even in your family, it's like you come to open a new way that no one in the family had ever done before, The 1 is you are here to do something that maybe the family doesn't understand. They don't really know what's going on, but you come to open a new path, because by doing so, you are liberating ancestors in your lineage that wanted to do the same but couldn't, and you also come to liberate descendants in your lineage, if so. So it's like you are a liberator of energy. And also important to say with the 1 is a number that comes to is the number of independence, right? It's a number also of leadership. So you have 1 and 8 and 4. You are like a very, very good leader, and you're someone whose ability is not only for leading small groups, but you can lead large groups of people. And I know that you are kind of like doing so, in what you're doing day to day. But it really makes sense that you're like out of the 9 to 5 everything, because the 1 comes to be like your own boss. You come to be like the leader of your own life. So yeah, that's very, very, very cool. Now that we can go through all the numbers you want in positive and in negative. Would you like to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So we have the 1 in positive. We have talked about like how it's leadership, how you come to open a new way, how also with the 1, it's like you come to stand out, The 1 is someone who you don't want to be one more in the crowd. No. The 1 wants to be number 1, It's like someone who comes to stand out from the crowd. And it's very, very cool because the 1 comes to guide through example.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. How does this resonate before we go into the
No, 100%, because I talk about this all the time, where my friends, even what I'm doing, like my friends are, I would say, anointed. They know everything that I know, but they're hush hush because they don't want to stand out from the crowd. So me knowing that I have to, because they won't. You know what I'm saying? So, and I talk about that all the time. So it makes perfect sense for sure.
Yes, I mean, it makes sense. You kind of like you took this for yourself as part of your deeds here in this earth, to stand out and to be the one in the front. So it's kind of nice because like something that you like, being the one likes being in the front and having like the lights on you, and like you
Yeah.
you are comfortable. You can
Yeah.
shine there,
Yeah.
much
So
more than if you were in the back.
yeah. So you're talking about the positive side of that and the negative side of that. See,
Exactly.
now
That's
listen,
it.
that's something that you don't always get. Most people just want to sell you on the positive side. Keep telling us what we want to hear. Wait, there are some caveats to this.
Exactly. Yeah. That is I think that is super, super important, and I think it's a good point. Whenever someone tells you only the light, doubt, because every energy has the same amount of light and darkness. So, and that is the cool thing about humans. We have free will, so we get to choose. That's the only thing that we really come here to do, to choose. So, okay, amazing. So let's go to the darkness of the one. So what happens with a negative one? So the negative one is like this part of you that, okay, if you come to open new beginnings, the one is this voice telling you like, no, 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 don't do anything new. Don't start new things, because what if you start and what if you fail? And what if you like start something new, and who's going to sustain you, and you're going to do it alone? No, no, no. You know what? Say what is already created, and don't start anything new. That is a negative one, right? Also, if you come to be independent, right, in negative, the one shows codependency, right? So this codependency can be of like the one depending emotionally or financially or on someone else, or it can be more like the opposite of like the one saying, you know what, don't worry, I will pay for it, I will solve it, I will do it for you, but stay with me, don't leave me. So just kind of like making myself necessary. uh, the biggest fear of the one in reality is to end up alone, like in a way, like to end up alone, to end up without community or anyone to be with. And then lastly, of course, if you come to be a leader, if you come to stand out on the crowd, in the negative, this can show us two different ways. It can be as someone who is totally like gray, like in the back, they don't want to stand out, they're shy to stand out, or it can be someone who is too dominant, too authoritarian, and someone who wants to dictate how other people are like living their life.
So it's about
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
it's about finding balance in that spectrum, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. And I feel like with the one, specifically for leadership, for the one, it's like the one is saying, remember that your leadership doesn't come because you control or dominate others. It comes because you are someone who boosts others to be the best version of themselves. That is the power of the one. The one is someone who has the power of like boosting others, of being like an impulse. And super, super important also, very cool. All the numbers have a gift, okay? The gift of the one is the gift of planting. This is super cool. It means that whatever you plant in this life, it has like the ability to grow. And you may not say to see like the end result of every seed you plant, because with the one is like this part of you that you like the beginning of things. You like the planning stage and let's do this and the idea, but once that is going, once that is like well, you have two of four, so maybe not so much in this part, but there's definitely a part of you that once it's starting and once it's going, you kind of like get bored a little bit and want to start the next thing, like you come to start many things.
Yeah. You're definitely reading my chart, my numbers. That happens a lot. And most of the stuff that you're saying, the audience knows it because I'm vocal about it. I'm vocal about starting 17 things at once, for sure.
Oh my God. It also makes sense, for example, this year, and we can talk about your energy of this year 2021. But 2021, you have a one in your central line as well. So definitely this year, it's about starting new things, new beginnings, new ideas, like new energies that are entering your life, and like you expanding out to start them. Although with the double five, I will tell you also being super mindful and intelligent and strategic, because your energy can also disperse so much that you end up without really doing none of them.
Yeah, 100%. I already know.
Yeah. How does this resonate with the one, like with the shadow of the light? How do you feel it?
It's a daily journey between both. It's
Yes.
a choose this day which one that you want to resonate in, stick with it, remind yourself. There's I think that you're 100% right. But how do I get through it? How do I navigate through it, knowing that I know those things are my strong points and my weaknesses. So you're 100%. But how do we create? How do we continue to create? I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of people. But yeah, you're 100% right.
I like that a lot. Yes, and I like what you said. Like, I know this about myself because that is super important. With numerology, it's not like I will tell you something that you didn't hear before. This is you. Of course,
Yeah.
like this is just like we're describing your energy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love
Okay.
it.
So we can go to number 8 if you want. Number 8 is your soul.
Okay.
Oh, we're also like, by the way, we're also like going, like, we're not entering, the depths. That we could be like here many times, like a lot of time, many hours probably, just like seeing the depths of your chart. We're just like going through your main numbers. So there's a lot of information in this chart.
Let me ask you this. So you said that the numbers, you're telling me stuff that I already know. Is this because that I'm mindful and I do the inner work and I have the inner dialogue and I know my strengths and I admit my weaknesses and I try to learn? Are there other people who this is brand new to them? They're like, oh, really? Like it's brand new? Because for me, most of this up to this point, because I'm really introspective about all of this kind of stuff. But do some people on a session are their minds blown? Do they? Is it new to them? I'll say.
Well, it has happened to me that there are people that like have things that they forgot. No one says like, oh no, I don't know this about me at all. I haven't.
Everybody already knows it somewhere.
They know it somewhere, or they say like, oh yeah, when I was a child, I liked to do this a lot. I completely forgot it. You're right, and they're like, yeah, like you have it, because also I feel like when we are children, we are more connected to our essence.
Okay.
We are less contaminated by the world and what the world expects from us. So if you think of like your childhood, you will probably find it there if you haven't found it in your adult life. But yeah, it takes a lot of self-knowledge and humility and honesty also to be able to know this about yourself.
Yeah. And so as we're going through just kind of reading the numbers and reading your personality type and your pros and your cons and all that, as we're going through that, the last number is where you're going with all of it, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
great.
Your life mission, what you're here to do.
Great.
Right? This time around.
Let's keep
going. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we have the 8. The 8 is the number of your soul. So your soul is a strong position. It's something that is your soul, so like you have it literally within you. And the 8 again is a number of power, and it is a number of the healer. It's a number of the shaman, and it talks about someone that comes to create in the world 2 main energies. You come to create the energy of abundance and the energy of healing. So it's like, think of like in positive, like in moments in your life where you are in a high vibration and how abundance comes to you. You don't have to look for it. It comes to you. Opportunities, jobs, projects, prizes. It's like it comes to you because you generate it in yourself. And in the same time, you are someone that has with the 8 the power to heal yourself and also to help others heal. Even energetically, the 8s have like a special power to move energy with their hands. So I don't know if you have been connected to maybe Reiki or Qigong or just like any energetic healing. You like could like in a moment just like click with it because you already have like the incorporated Harry Potter wand in you, so it's like you were born with it. That is very, very cool. The 8, also important to say, the 8 is a number that because you are a builder, okay? You have the 4, actually have 2 4s with 22, but the 4 is the foundations of something. The 8 is the second floor. So just like people who are very, very determined, very hardworking, when an 8 is someone that you will have a project and you will see it through. And it will take maybe hours and hours and hours of concentration that you don't even feel passing because you're so into what you're doing that time just flies. So just very, very determined people. And again, with the 8, you come to influence others. Actually, imagine a being so powerful that you can generate abundance and healing. It is the only number, the 8, that you don't only influence yourself. Even the way that we draw the number, you influence those around you. So So it's like I come inside, I touch you, I touch me, I touch you, and just like it does this for everyone. So it's very cool because it means that you have the ability to generate abundance and healing for yourself and for those around you. And what happens also in the negative, right? Also in the negative, being aware, because in the negative, you can create the opposite, which is scarcity or sickness or disease, for yourself and for those around you. So yeah, very, very cool. What is the power of the 8? Those are the powers of the 8, to generate abundance and to generate healing as well, right? So it's like, come to use this power, and this power is in your soul. So ever since you were a child, you probably felt it, how you had this power in you, how you like felt, even with the 22, you felt probably different than other children.
Yep.
Does it resonate?
100%. Yes, 100%. And everything you're saying, I have courses that teach all of that, because I only teach what I experience and what I know, and everything that you're saying is I already know. I already know this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm having fun though. Keep going. I'm enjoying it. Because some
very,
people
very
you're like,
good.
because some people when they give you a reading or numbers, you're like, maybe I think I see it, but I'm like, you're literally reading my book. You're reading the numbers.
Thank you, God, for numbers. Yeah, no, numbers are amazing. Seriously, I'm telling you, like, it's real. It's real. Sometimes I have a hard time believing it. I need to remember myself it's real. Okay, so let's go to the shadow, right? The shadow of the 8. So what happens with the 8 in negative? So if in positive, right, you come to generate, as we said, abundance and healing, and it's the number of power, right? So the negative 8 will be this voice in you, or this part in you that, first of all, is like scarcity, right? So fear of scarcity, and just like this voice telling you, like, no, you won't have enough abundance, you won't have enough means for what you want and the resources. Oh, no, you won't have it, this fear. Also with the 8 is the fear of like sickness. So it can be like fear of being sick, or for those around me being sick. That's a very also negative 8 thing, for being fearful of those around me getting sick. Or if I'm really, really in a dense vibration, I will actually get myself sick or those around me. That is a negative 8. Also, lastly, with the number of power, imagine being so powerful, like that is the number 8. That is literally the number of power. So the negative 8 will tell you, oh no, you're not powerful enough, like insecurities. Oh no, you can't. Other people can do it, but you? No. Too difficult. Don't even try. No, it's like so difficult for you. So yeah, so how do you polarize, right? How do you polarize? It's like, also something important, very important with the 8. The 8 is already an old soul. Okay, you are considered an old soul already. So the 8 is a very intelligent number. They are literally very intelligent people. You go faster, even like the way that we draw the 8, you go faster than other people. So what happens a lot of times with the 8 is that they kind of like stress out with people, and they're like, oh my God, like, why can't you understand? It's so easy. They already explained it. Like, for you, processing the universe is so fast and so easy. So the 8 is here to remember also compassion, and to remember that we are all in the same journey, just like stepping on different stones. But yeah, like the 8 says, if you get frustrated with people because they're going slower than you, and it happens probably a lot, seeing your numbers, the 8 tells you, instead of being stressed about it, just teach them, because you already know how to do it. You already understood it. So teaching and being compassionate is something that the 8 is called to do. Yeah, how does this resonate? How does this feel?
Awesome. I try to with all of that. It's all true, and I guess the key is to try to stay in the middle. And I think we fluctuate a little bit here and there, but it's about trying to find balance. I think balance is the narrow path that Jesus talked about. It's narrow. It's right in the middle. It's not too low. It's not too high. But the narrow path is right in the middle. And how do we stay in that sweet spot? Both positive and negative polarities are real. And there's seasons I think we have to dip to know that it's real. Hey, that's real. There's a bad side to this. Oh, there's a great side to this. But even the great side or the positive, you would think positive is always good, but the other side, if you're not balanced, you're going to be going in circles. Just like if a steering wheel or a boat is not balanced, it's going to just keep going in the same circle. So finding that balance is really key to everything that you're saying, and for my life for sure.
Yeah, right now when you said about like Jesus and the narrow path, what comes to me right now is a book that I started to read that I really recommended. That is by Paramahansa Yogananda, which I'm sure you have heard of
Mhm.
Paramahansa Yogananda, and it's called The Yoga of Jesus. And
Nice.
it's just like how like it says that when Jesus refers to like the narrow path or to like the path to the Lord, it's also like reference to our spine, like to our energetic center. So like, yeah, whatever brings us to our center, whatever brings us to our alignment, to our narrow path, our straight path. I feel like that's like the way to remember. Because it is difficult sometimes to navigate for sure.
Yep.
Amazing. So yeah, I just want to say, like with the age, if you ever feel, I know that, I mean, you're a master and you're 22 and you're advanced, but or anyone, just listening, having the age. If you ever hear this voice of like, no, you can't do it, no, it's too difficult, I would tell you, like, you're an 8, like you're the number of power. Like if someone can do it, it's
Yeah.
And also very important with the scarcity, because that's the thing with AIDS. If ever you are fearful of scarcity, it is just because right now you are not using your talents.
Yeah.
An AIDS that is fearful of scarcity has talents that are sleeping, that need to be waken up to be put in use, because when you use your talents, you generate abundance and you generate healing. Like that's all you need to do, put your
Yeah.
talents into.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a fluctuation thing. It happens, right? To say that we're always balanced, man. Like you catch yourself. You have to catch yourself, even with the abundance and scarcity. Like I've shifted in the last 2 years, shifted to the abundance mentality out of scarcity. But every now and then, there's an old mentality, a scarcity mentality that comes back, and I'm like, and I'm trying to let it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna believe for greater. I'm just gonna, be satisfied with this, and I have to catch myself. Like, hold on, that's scarcity mentality. No, you can't go. And I'm gonna spend the money. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do because I identified it. Most of the time we don't identify that stuff. It's just who we are. We're scared of money. Money doesn't come fast. You got to work hard to make money. As soon as I get it, it's gone. We never have enough money. All of these ungodly beliefs that you got to get out of your mind. And sometimes they just kind of come creeping back in nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, I don't have enough money for that. Wait. I have enough money for whatever it is that I want to do and I want to experience, and I don't need to settle. But even recently, I had to catch myself of that, the polarization of that, walking in abundance and scarcity at the same time, kind of thing.
Mm. And I think also, like, I don't know about you, how it like manifests for you, but sometimes for me at least, the fear of scarcity is always in the future. It's like a fear that is in the future, that it's like an anxiety about the future. Because if you think about it right now, in the present, we are sustained, we are abundant. Like in the present, we have it,
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah, but
think
it
that.
does come in the future. But if I look at like my bank account, and then I'm like, I need to buy that. Like, it's not even I want to buy it. It's like I need to buy it. For my music and for my art and stuff. It's like I have to, and I said I have to buy a beat. I have to purchase a beat. You can get the free beat, but there's tags and there's no sounds all the way through it, and it sounds unprofessional. And I'm like, I almost let it slide. Like right before the hook comes in, somebody's like, "This beat was brought to you by so and so," and then I'm like leaving it in. I'm like, we're gonna leave that in just because I don't want to pay the price. Then I catch myself like, "What are you doing? Buy the beat, buy it. You need to. It's your art. You're gonna create something that's gonna live on for years." So buy it. And it was this one little way that I caught it. And obviously it comes in other ways that we don't catch it. But being mindful is key.
And right now when you're talking, the numbers that are shining are not even, it's not even the 8. It's actually the number that is shining is your 4. Your 4. That's a number that is like saying, this is me. We will go to the 4 for sure. But I just want to say also with the 8, whenever you feel this scarcity or like fear of scarcity, the 8 means that you are stopping the flow. So the 8 is like, oh, I want to hold on to my resources because I'm fearful that I won't have more. So I hold on to them, and then you stop the flow of the 8. The 8 flows, and it's like what goes around comes around. What goes comes back, So it's like,
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. For
Sowing
sure.
and reaping is a universal law that always will be seed, timing, harvest. Whatever you plant is always going to come back. Sometimes it's instantly, sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's a year, but it definitely comes back.
And more when you have the one in you that is the power of the planting seed, you know, like you are someone who definitely in your energy, when you plant, it grows. So yeah, for sure, I would tell you like you are a powerful being. Also with the 22, we're gonna go to the 22. But yes, like super cool, super cool. Just like believing in yourself, remembering who you are. You know, it's like remember. And I think that is a constant thing for everyone, not only for you that you have a master energy, but anyone having master energies or not. Just like this reminder of we are multidimensional divine beings. You know, like everything is possible. Everything is possible. We're
Yes.
just here to remember this. Very cool and respect and very cool about your about your like rapping and your music. I'm really excited for that. I already
Yeah.
like put down the 24th for the breath work. That all sounds very cool. Okay, so let's go to the 22. You actually have a very you have an interesting combination because if you see 22, which is a master builder, the essence of 22, 2 plus 2 is a 4. So what happens is that you can even write it like a 22/4. So the 4 is the same number that you have in your difficult position with the 22 and also as your life mission. So what is the 4 and what is the 22? The 4, and we're gonna like vary between those because they're like the same essence in a way. The 4, which is your life mission, is the number of the builder. And you have the 22, which is the master builder. What I'm getting with this configuration is that again, you come from past lives where you had the potential to build on a large scale because that's 22, but you didn't. Like you fell short because of what the 4 comes to do. The 4, that is part of your life mission, you come to transcend limiting beliefs. The 4 is limiting beliefs related the physical world, right? So the 4 elements, like the 4 directions, physicality, resources, that come from the root, from your family of origin, when you were told precisely that life is hard and it's a struggle and you need to fight for things and it's not easy, you know, and just like all of these beliefs that you come to build in this life to realize they were just beliefs, you know, and that you actually can build. The 22 is very cool because it means that you have in this life the power to build on a very large scale. So not only for your neighborhood, no, the 22 is something international, someone that has the ability to build something that will touch in positive the lives of many people. And then next to the 22, you have the 8, which means that not only you come to touch in positive, you come to heal, you come to empower others, right? So it's very, very, very cool. Yeah, so just like a lot of potency in you, a lot of like potency in your being to build. And I will tell you with the 22, if you have it on you, it's like the 22 is telling you like go big or go home, you know, like this is something that you come to do in this life, that you kind of like are taking the retake of a test that you already failed, believing in yourself, and now you're here to build it. Now you're actually here to empower yourself and do it. What comes to you or what resonates
No,
with this?
I definitely, it makes sense for sure. It makes sense. The polarities make sense. You know what is possible on the negative side, and then everything's a mirror.
Yes.
So in order for you to know what's possible on the negative, death, decay, destruction, like that's possible, right? All things are possible. Well, the opposite, life, abundance, wealth, happiness, healing, wholeness, destiny, your dreams, your vision, helping people, like that's possible too. So it's like, listen, I've dealt in those lower realms just like you have. So we know that that's possible. We don't want that. What do we have to do to at least maintain balance and to be able to bring in those higher energies as well? So that dark night, that going through those lower realms, it births within you a possibility of something greater, and not wanting that, not just for yourself selfishly, but that what I do, what we can do is to help ourselves. We are helping the collective, because a rising tide rises all the ships, And it's never look at me, look what I did, look what I can do. I'm an open book. For some people, it may seem that way, but it's always, listen, you can do it too. I want you to do it. I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you all the resources I have, but it's up to you to do it, to live in abundance, to be happy, to be, to forgive, like all of those things. So everything's resonating that you're sharing.
Yeah, and I love that you like. I feel like you are in tune with this 22 in this life, and like by what I see, like with your own mastery. Because the 22 or any master number, the 11, 22, 33, you come to teach, and you said it very well. It's not about like you being only the only one in the show. No, you come to teach others how to do it because you are an old soul, and you've been here for a long time, so you're already like in a mission of like service. The 22 is someone that comes to live like just like a mark on humanity. So I think this is important, like just for you to remember. And I think that you're doing it, but if anyone's the 22 and they're not there, just like
Yeah.
know the potential that you have. Also, something that is important, I think, and it's relevant. Whenever you have a master energy like you do, you also have a choice, right? You can choose. You can choose to vibrate high as a 22 or no, and vibrate low as the base, as the 4. So it doesn't mean that the 4 is bad, okay? But it's just not 22. So what happens with the 22? Well, first of all, because you are an old soul, you probably felt since you were a child, maybe like you were born like a little adult. Like you were born and you were already an adult, when you were a child. So that's like something that happens to the 22. They have usually like a hard time connecting with other children because they feel different. They feel like I'm different from these other kids, and you are energetically you are. But what happens with the choice is that masters are always and constantly tested. You will always be tested in your loyalty to the light, in your loyalty to like the straight path, So that is very, very important because the 22s, and I don't know if you have seen this in your life, they usually have like opportunities to deviate from the path, like take the easy way and like, look, and we will make millions, and we will just like a lot of things that seem very attractive, but that are not really straight or in the light. And that is something that you have to remember constantly. You will be tested constantly.
Yeah.
And your mastery will depend on your ability to stay loyal, to the light, to the path, to rectitude. Yeah, important.
Yep. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly, and think that I look at life as a school, and in the school you're tested, pop quiz, and you, in the way that you pass those tests is to respond with love, and that is to respond with light. Love is light, for sure, and those things are very near and dear and close to my heart. Not saying I always pass them, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty good anyway. I learn. I know there's a once you're conscious or cognitive of these lessons, it makes it a little bit more fun. You know that, hey, I got to study. There's a test coming up,
Yeah, and also when you're a master, you gotta teach. That's very important. You gotta teach because that's something that like a commitment that you took with your own self. When you came here. So very cool that you are doing it. Respect. Okay, that brings us actually to the 4, and then I would like to see the shadow of the 4 because the shadow is the same for 22 and the 4, and the 4 is your life mission. So I love that you put yourself this configuration because I feel like we choose, like we choose what we're going for and we choose our tools. And like you said, okay, I'm going to take this 22 that I haven't taken from another life, and I'm going to make it my life mission to build. And that is the 4. So the 4 talks about someone that comes to like kind of like set the foundations for something that will continue to be built upon later. It's someone that you come to improve the world. And also with the 4, you are someone that is here to build like systems, organizing things. Like you're super good probably at entering a place or an institution or like a project and saying like, okay, we need to organize this, we need to improve this, we will make this more efficient. Just like this is part of what your energy comes to do, which is very, very cool. And also very important to remember, you come to transcend these limiting beliefs, right? This is super important because the limiting beliefs are the only thing that can bring you down from not like, or can hold you back, from building what you're here to build. Which then brings us also to the shadow of the 4, the shadow of the 22. And the shadow has to do again with first inflexibility. This is super important because the four becomes very squared, right? So it's just like seeing the world in terms of like black and white, yes and no, good and bad, and then like thinking that it's like my way or the highway, you know. And the four can become very, very inflexible. And also with the 22, it's like just like these beliefs that, oh no, it's so hard to do it, you know, it's so difficult to build it, I'm not even gonna try, you know. So it's like stopping yourself from that. And very important with the four, if it's order, in the negative, it will be lack of order. It will be even like procrastination, lack of discipline, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very strong energy in the four. It's just like this energy of like, no, don't do it now, do it later, you know, just like do it on Monday, one more whatever Netflix episode and then do it, you know, just like fours have a lot of this like procrastination. So whenever you catch yourself that is laziness or it's procrastination, that is your cue. That is when you gotta say like, no, I'm doing it. You know, like just do it, just do it. That's a good way to polarize in the four. Um, I mean, you are a builder, you know. So if you don't build, then then you fall into the dark. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot.
that's 100% true. And that's one I don't think I'm as good with. I'm still learning. For myself, it seems easier when other people are involved, or if I'm helping other people, I can use that creativity and stuff for others. But when I use it for myself, there's this, oh, it's too hard. But when I do it, magic's created, right? Whether it's working on music or writing a book or working on courses and things like that, which are all within me. But that part of getting it out, it's intimidating. Because it's hard to focus on that one thing, because listen, you got these other things too that you got to work on. So it's hard to focus when you got all 17 things, like you mentioned at the beginning, that all want to come out and be created and want life too. So it's so much so that you're like, you don't, it renders you helpless and you don't do anything. I'm not doing it because the mind and focus is off and stuff like that. And that's something that I think a lot of creatives struggle with, you know.
Yeah. You know, when you say that, the number that is like shining is a number that and I know you're not looking at the chart, but it's a number of your positive intuition. So, you know, we have like intuitions, like in the cartoons, that we have like the little angel and the devil talking to us, you know. So these energies or consciousness are also manifested through numbers. And in your case, your positive intuition or your like angel in your shoulder would be number 6. And then the sabotager or the negative intuition would be a number 5. So when you say that, it is a number 6. The number 6 is the number of community, family. It looks like a pregnant woman, even how we draw the 6, like a pregnant woman. So it's telling us, like, the 6 is saying, because everything that you come to build, as you said, you don't come to do it specifically alone. Like the 6 is your intuition tells you, and you have with the 6 here, like this ability to bring people in, to join forces, you know. So it's like, yeah, maybe like even asking for help when you need it, because you may overload yourself with so much, you know, and forget to ask for help of those around you. So maybe that's a good tip there.
Yeah, that's been hard for sure. I'm trying, but it's definitely been hard.
Yes, for sure. Actually, this year you have a double 6 also in your chart. So it's like, do you want to talk about like what this year is for you, like this 2021?
Yeah.
So 2021, your central line is 551. So these are like the 3 main numbers of your year 2021, 551, and then like a lot of numbers that move around. So 551 tells us 2 things. First, 5 is a number of change, is a number of expansion. You come after last year, so actually 2020 was a 4-year for you. This means that the 4 was aligned to your life mission, which is the 4. So 2020 was for you what is called a year of power. You might have experienced it in your life. It was a very important year, because a year of power comes once every 9 years, and it happens when you have the same alignment of energy as when you entered Earth, like when you were born. So it's like last year for you was like a total, like a renewal, just like being born again, like being born in many, many ways. And with the 4, it's like you started to build, you started the foundations of something last year that will continue to be built. So a year 2020 of a lot of work, of a lot of just like you being activated and your mastery being activated, and just like a lot of people like coming to you to build, at the same time you had the 9, so things that were closing in your life, so you would be able to build what you're here to build. So also closing of cycles. But this year has a double 5, and the double 5 is telling you in 2020 you knew what you were here to build, and now 2021 is about change and movement. Even the way that we draw the 5, it goes one way, then the other way, then the other way around. So like that is the energy of this year, and it's a year of change. It's a year of also of expansion. So when a double 5 comes, it's kind of like life is telling you you are being moved out of a comfort zone. Like you were a little bit like in a comfort zone where you were great and everything was very cool, but there was not really being a lot of expansion anymore or growth anymore. So this year comes to put you into new places, new situations, new projects, new things that are putting you out of your comfort zone, right? Because you are ready. The 5 is telling you like you are ready to take the next step in your evolution. So it's like these new energies are coming into your life to move you from where you were and just like bring you to new, just like new, newness, in your life. Does this resonate? Does this make sense?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And yeah, just got to find the best way and ways to receive that newness and to kind of embody it. Because the 2020 for sure, one of my best years ever. For a lot of people, it was their worst year. 2020 was amazing for me. In so many ways of starting new endeavors and new things that I had never done. Took my first flight, started my first high ticket course, like did my first retreat, like started hosting retreats. Like so much stuff happened for the first time in 2020 that have continually I've been able to continue doing them. I just got back off of a flight. I thought I would never fly. Got on 5 airplanes in a week, and like all kinds of stuff. And 2020 brought that in for me. So, but yeah, the change, because there's new things that are coming in, and they're a little bit, I wouldn't say harder. They're just different. You have to figure out how to work them, and that's definitely where I am now for sure.
Well,
And
I mean,
I've
really
noticed it too, not to to go, not to take the path of least resistance, even though that works. Like you can do that, but sometimes working harder, trying something different that you want to do, but it's a little bit harder, and because that's the easy way to put it off, because the easy thing's working. No, it's easy just to do this. I've got it down. It's pretty easy. Hold on. There's greater things in store if we climb. There's a little bit work in it. So definitely.
Yes, I love it. I mean, I feel like this is precisely what 2021 comes for you. And I love that you said you got in a plane and then, like multiple planes last year, because your 22 was activated last year. And 22 is the ability to go out of your borders. And not only mental borders, for sure, but also physical borders.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super, super cool that that aligns in 2020 for you, in your year of power. I do want to say right now, like because of the configuration that you have going on right now, specifically from May until the last day of August, you have the 7, the 5, and the 6 all present. So it's a little bit like life is telling you right now, it's a moment to make decisions and to make choices. The 5 is like you have been presented with a lot of opportunities, with a lot of new possibilities and new changes that can happen in your life. And the 7 is asking for commitment. So it's a little bit like the 7 is telling you, like, come on, true, like, you know what you need to do. Like, you already know, so stop being mild about it. Stop standing like in the middle of the door. Either you go in or you go out, but you know the way. So it's like asking for commitment, and very important because the 6 is double. The 6 is saying, remember that you're called to also join forces, like as we said, do it in community, uniting strengths of people and asking for help. Because the 6 is telling you, like, sometimes, like you want to do it all alone and you're like very like, I can do it, and you you put the hard work in. But right now, it's like, it's too much. It's too much for you to do it alone. So the 6 is telling you, ask for help, ask for this unity, because the expansion comes through the union of forces. What comes to you, or what resonates about this?
I've only done a couple readings and energy sessions with friends, and that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It's keeps coming up in here for sure, but other people are picking up the same thing about delegating work. But as that creative, as that it has to be done this way, right? I know how to do it, and nobody can do it like me. Like that kind of, it's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna give you this. Don't mess it up, So it's hard for sure, but that's definitely something that I have to see. I have to do, and I think it comes with experimenting. Giving somebody a little bit of authority, or to something that has your name on it, and being able to do it either as good or at least up to par with what you would do, and it's a learning curve that I know that I have to get over. There's no way that I can continue to juggle all the things that I'm juggling right now, and still make room for new things that are coming.
Right. When you're saying that, it's the double five that are lighting up, and the five that is double in your chart this year, right? And it's also, by the way, in your negative intuition. So it's like the negative sabotage you're talking. The five is the number of freedom versus control. So
Mm.
the five is saying just like it's a moment for you to release. Like the five, let go of control. And the five is saying like let go of the expectation of how you thought it should be, how you thought it was gonna be, and flow with what is. Because sometimes in the flowing, maybe it's different from what you expected, and maybe it's better. Maybe it's even better than what you expected.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like and definitely a year to like release control, and yeah, kind of like even allowing for the change to happen, allowing it to be different. I think good things will come from that. But then you have the negative five saying, no, 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 they need to do it like I want to do it. They don't know how to do it. That's the five, like I need to teach them how to do it because they don't know. That's like the negative five also. So yeah, I would say like a lot of working this year internally with letting go of control. And also when you were talking about like how you had two episodes with people that just like needed to cancel, that's a super five energy. But it's like the five is telling you the plans will change, the tickets will move, whatever will move. The five, flow, flow. Everything is for the good. Yeah.
Awesome. Makes sense
Yeah,
for
very,
sure.
very good. Um, Okay, just one last message from the seven, one last message, and yeah, from seven. The seven is the number of knowledge and truth. So remember how well when we started with our like connection with seven breaths, right? Because the seven is knowledge. So because you have the seven right now, it's like you are called right now also to learn more, or to like obtain a knowledge that you haven't had before. So just like anything that is entering your life right now regarding knowledge, it's great because like right now the knowledge that you are learning is opening for you like new doors, new possibilities that you didn't see before. Whatever new knowledge is coming, just like take it in. It's a moment to learn. Specifically until the last day of August, this energy is present. So great, great for expansion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's so awesome, and I'm reading the comments here, and everybody is on point. They're loving the conversation and loving your energy. And so I
Thank
want to
you.
I want to open it up too. If anybody in the comment section, anybody listening, has a question, go ahead and type that in now, and I'll ask Anna. And so go ahead and type that in wherever you're listening at. And so other people are asking about, hey, I want her to read my chart. I want her to read my birthday and those kind of things. Where's the best place for people to go to actually book a session with you? Like your
So you can
website
go
or?
through Instagram. So in Instagram is at Numerana MX. So NUMERANAMX, Numerana MX. And there you can go like in the link in the bio, you can check out the YouTube. Also like numerana.mx. Also in my webpage, you can find courses, you can find just like a lot of cool tools for numerology, and you can book a session there for sure. There's also another amazing subject on numbers that is for the Grabovoi numbers. And the Grabovoi numbers, I don't know if you've heard about that. That's like a whole other conversation that maybe we can do. But when you were talking about like how you wanted like sponsors and like the money that you need for the studio and everything like that, like the message that was coming to me was like, give him Grabavoy numbers. Like, and I feel like I want to also give you numbers for that, for you to like use them to align, to specific frequencies of like prosperity, of flowing money coming, say, like, etc. Stuff like that. It's amazing. Grabavoy art is a very, very, very cool branch of numbers. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys can go to her Instagram, and then she has a link tree with everything there, her sessions and courses and stuff too. So people are saying that they want to learn how to do it as well, and teach people. And so again, I know we went over it. Can you go over it really fast? How to add the birthdays up really quick again for people?
Sure. So you have 4 like main positions in your chart. The first position would be the month you were born, reduced to 1 digit.
So you add, so you reduce the digit to add them up. So if it was, if you were born in December, it would be 12, but you got to add them up. 12 would be 3 because it's 2 plus 1 is 3. So that's your first number.
Exactly. Always we add up to one number unless it gives us 11, 22, 33, which are master numbers and are like numbers with a higher level of potentiality. So we respect the mastery, right? So if it gives you 11, 22, or 33, leave it. Otherwise, reduce. Second of the 4 is the day of your birth. So you sum to one number unless it gives you 11, 22.
Yep.
And
mine was 17.
17.
Mine was 17, so 7 plus 1 is 8. So that's where we kept getting the 8 from.
Precisely, exactly. Third position is only the year of your birth. Only the year. So if you were born in 2000, 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is a 2, But if you were born in 1984, you sum 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4, and it's 22. And then you respect the 22.
Right? But if it was 23, we would go ahead and add those together, and it would be 5.
Exactly, it would be a 5. That means that your challenge position, or where you come like dragging as a failed test, is a 5.
See, I never knew about the repetitive numbers to leave those. I never knew. That's the first time I heard that. And so the last number, which is the 4, is that's adding all the numbers up?
Exactly.
And that's where you're going.
Write all of your birthday down and add 1 by 1 by 1 everything until it gives you 1 digit.
Now, when you add those up, you add those up without getting the number that they add, right? Like without the 8, we would add the 17 versus adding. I mean, it probably still be this close to the same thing anyway, right?
Well, that is a very good question. You would, in the 17, you would add 1 plus 7. So if you were like January 17, you put 1 plus 1 plus 7, and then plus your year, whatever. But it's always digit by digit. Because now, what we're looking for is the essence, like the energetic essence of the number.
So we got the 22 for 1984, right? Plus 8 plus 1.
Yes.
And that gives us 4 altogether.
That will give us, I think it's 31, and then 3 plus 1, 4.
There you go.
So that is your life mission, and that is the last of the 4th.
Now,
the last and the 4th number.
I guess the biggest question for people, and I have to say that, from a skeptic's position, was like, when people read astrology, it's like, it just is general stuff that fits for everybody, right? If you think about it, I got those issues, but everything that you read for me is stuff that I talk about on here. Like, I'm really open about my struggles, my strengths. Hey, we can do this. I need help. Like, everything that you spoke about was right on. So I would guess, like, whether it's a skeptic or people who just genuinely want to know, how do you get the interpretations for the numbers? Like, what mode do you get that 8 is shaman, is healer? Like, how did you get that? How do you know that? Which you're 100% right. You read my reviews, shaman, healer, Christian, mystic, like, how do you get that?
So that actually comes from Pythagoras. So this comes from like a long study on meditation on the symbols. Pythagoras was like an enlightened being. He was a genius, definitely. But for example, to study numerology before, you needed to go into the like Pythagorean school, which required two requirements. The first is they would give you like a symbol, like say a triangle or a number, and you would need to go 3 days to meditate like on a cave somewhere, meditate on the symbol, and then come back and expose what you got in meditation for everyone. So he would know if you were in an elevated consciousness, like in an elevated enough consciousness to receive, the teachings. So it's just like a lot through like intuition and connection with the divine. That is like numbers are an essence, like an essence, our language, a divine language. So that was the first requirement. And the second requirement would be that once you were admitted, you took a vow of silence of 5 years. So 5 years of complete silence. So you would train yourself to like be quiet about the mysteries, and also to know the big power that our words have when we speak, because we literally create with our words. So I feel like where it comes from, it comes from Pythagoras, from the teachings of the school, and I think it's all like just like channeling of the meaning of the symbols, because even the way that we draw the symbols talk about the energy. For example, the one comes to stand on its own 2 feet. It's independence. It's something that someone that comes to open a new way. So it's like that. But the two is different. The two bends. You see, it's bending, making space for the other. The number of connection of relationships. So the two make space, bends for the other. The one, no, the one won't bend for anyone. The two, yes, it will make space. And then like the five is movement and it changes. So every symbol also has a meaning of why we draw the symbol like this. Mhm.
Yeah.
Like a description of the energy.
Yeah, I love Pythagoras. I study as much as I can. I study the Essenes and just so much about the beauty of what I like about Christianity, about the music and adoration for the Creator and things like that. Pythagoras was really big on that, on music, and they woke up with songs, and when the sun went down, they sang songs, and the power of music and the power of vibration, which are numbers. It's mathematics. It's all mathematics. The Pythagorean theorem, all of that. So people have to go back and definitely look up the teachings in the order of Pythagoras. And there was rules and there's regulations and things that they would say stay away from and all of that. But I really love it. Something interesting about what you're saying, even the shapes of the numbers and things like that. There's a movement now that's getting pretty big in the Christian mystical movement, and they talk about the living letters. And this would be just like the numbers as well. But the living letters, they go back to Hebrew, and they break down the Hebrew alphabet, and they look at them like they're beings. And they come to them and they give them messages, and they tell them what they represent and what they mean and all of that. And they tell us, and they tell a story by themselves. And so people are like encountering mystical encounters with the alphabet. And then when they're trying to break down the Hebraic words and doing word studies from the ancient scriptures, they'll break down the words and get the Hebraic spelling, but it all goes back to each word telling a story. Because once you have a revelation of what the Aleph means and then what the Tav means, like that word means a lot more, because these all beings, these letters are a part of it, telling a greater story and a greater meaning than just love, right? No. It's a different kind of love. It's an intimacy. It's I will die for you love, not like, hey, I love cheeseburgers. No, this love here in this. So there's just this way of of people encountering and coming into a relationship with numbers and letters. Really interesting. That's getting really big right now.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned this. I love it so much. So precisely this part of like numerology that studies the Hebrew letters is called Gematria, right? And like the Gematria of just like of understanding. I love it. I love it because I came in touch with it the first time when I was living in Jerusalem, and I met these very cool rabbis that were also like numerologists, and just like we would like get together and talk about numbers and how passionate we are about them. And what they taught me, and it's amazing, is that if you see the Bible, if you talk about, like, for example, the Torah, right, like the Old Testament, or like the 5 books of Moses, and you apply Gematria to each, so you count like the numerical value of each of the words, you will see like a second layer that is hidden. Only you can access it through numbers, a second layer of the Torah, of the Bible, that also gives specific meanings to what the words are saying. So yeah, I love it also because Pythagoras says that numbers are not only quantitative realities, they are qualitative realities. As you said, they are alive. They are like consciousness that are in the universe, that are existing. So as like Hebrew letters. Hebrew letters, for sure. I 100% believe they are living like qualitative realities, for sure. So
Awesome.
so are numbers.
Okay.
Yes.
For sure.
It's
I
amazing.
love it too. Mimi says here in the chat, she says hers equal 48. Then we add 4 plus 8 equals 12. That's not correct, right?
It's correct. So 48 will be 4 plus 8, which gives us 12. And then again, we have two numbers, so we need one. So 2 plus 2, sorry, 1 plus 2, 3.
It'd
So
be
the
3.
48 would reduce to a 3. So
Yeah.
the 3
So,
would be, I'm guessing, Mimi's life mission, which is the number of the creator, right? The number that someone that comes to create in the world, like the artist, the messenger, communication. There's so much. There's so much. Seriously, it's
yeah.
amazing. But yeah, it would be a 3.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow, I really enjoyed this. Thank you for my session, and I'm gonna put all of your links in the description there, and so people can book a session with you, and it's
Yeah, feel
inexpensive.
free,
People,
anyone. Feel
it's
super,
it.
super free.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah. Everybody, go check out her website, and I'm gonna put her links there. But if you can easily find her on um, Instagram, it's NUMERANAMX. So
Yeah.
look that up, and I'll put all those in the description of the podcast. Wherever you're listening to this at, you'll be able to get those links and book a session. I definitely urge you to. Very, very precise, very right on. Some, again, a lot of times with people, you're like, yeah, I guess so, maybe, but yours has been like, it's been right on. So thank you so much for learning the numbers and being able to communicate that. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. And I want to say, like, also that to encourage anyone who wants to learn numerology, that I feel like the universe is one, the universe is one. Like, God is one. This is all one. And there are different ways of reading the universe, right? So astrology, again, like numerology, palm reading, iris, like everything. And it's been said that of all the proto science to read the universe, numerology is the simplest one because it's super precise. Like 2 plus 2 will always give 4. There's no like the conjunction Saturn, and I feel like you really got to be like a very good astrologer to be able to make the
Yeah.
make the reading. But with numerology, it's super simple. Like 4 is 4, and it won't move. So yeah, I really encourage everyone to learn it and to get into this world of numbers that is amazing. And yeah, it just reminds us who we are. Just again, doesn't tell us anything new. It just reminds us what we already know since we came here to this earth, right?
Now, you were talking about going through this initiation process. Is this something that you did, or is this something that you've studied that the ancient Pythagoreans would do to step into this, or was this something that you actually did as well, going through the vow of silence and meditating on the symbols and things like that?
Thank you for asking that. I love that question. It happened to me like coincidentally that I started learning about this. So I started learning with the numerologist that I met, and then I started reading with like books and everything. But he told me this is sacred knowledge. Like you're not supposed to go around and tell people about their numbers. And like he said, like no, this is sacred. And like if you're gonna take it seriously, you're gonna study it for yourself. Like study, grow yourself first. So I did, and I studied for like 5 years without telling people, like only like my close like family and friends. I would tell them about their numbers and stuff like that to like understand, but I wouldn't go out in the world. And then one day I had an ayahuasca ceremony. And in the ayahuasca ceremony, it was revealed to me. It was like the ayahuasca told me, okay, this numbers knowledge, it's now time. It's now time for you to use it and to go out in the world. And it was 5 years since I started studying. So it was kind of like without wanting it, I did kind of like took the 5 years of silence,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. When I know, I really like Greg Braden, and I know he said in a lecture, he's got so many, but he talks about how we're all already inducted into this universal mystery school. Like, even though, like, to be inducted into the different Pythagorean orders or the Essenes, we just have remnants of this stuff now. I mean, there's some pretty cool orders out there, but it's different when the spirits come to you and they wake you up. Just like in the Bible, when God chose Samuel and he's sleeping and he hears a voice calling his name in the middle of the night, he didn't say, okay, who do I contact to be a part of this order? He's sleeping and a voice is saying, Samuel, wake up, Samuel. Who's calling my name? Sam is it comes to you. It comes to you, and it comes to you in dreams. It comes to you in symbols. It comes to you through your intuition and your deepest depths of your desire that you want this. And just like the old adage says that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When Samuel was ready, he heard the voice. The voice has always been there, but it's when you attune yourself to be like, okay, I'm ready. Because it's not going to call you when you're not ready. It knows you too much. It knows you're not ready. And so that's the beautiful thing of this all-encompassing God or creator that knows everything about you, knows everything going on in your life, and say, you know what, they're ready. Or I like the Bible says that God's the author and the finisher of your faith and knows what you need. Hold on. There's one more thing that they got to go through. It's a test. If they pass this test, we'll call their name in the middle of the night. We'll give them that dream. We're in. It's fun. And the Bible says you need not any man to teach you. Now, men teach you, people teach you, women teach you, but you don't need them. God, the creator, speaks through all things, speaks through synchronicity, speaks through animals and signs and birds and the wind and the elements and the angels and books, and speaks through everything if you're willing to listen. And that's how you're initiated. You don't need validation from any man. Your validation will be the life that you live and the response that you get from people as you're changing and impacting lives. And that's, why receive the applause of men when you can receive the applause of God, and that's really how it is. And so I love this journey. I love hearing people's stories, and especially when they cross and it's so similar, because when we're open and honest about this, many people even, they won't share these secrets, but say, listen, these secrets are not bragging about me that an angel appeared or I can read numbers. Listen, if you want it, it's here for you. Whatever you want is available. That's how this thing works. And if you want to know the mysteries, why do you want to know them? Are you a healer and you're looking for tools to have these numbers and dreams and visions and intuition, and you want to heal? Hey, we got a whole bunch of tools that we can use that are beautiful, and they are God-given, and they are our birthright. So I love having these conversations and having you demonstrate, if you will, for me and for my audience. So thank you so much. It means the world.
Thank you so much. I totally agree and resonate, and I love that you said that we are all already in the journey. It reminds me of Paramahansa Yogananda, which one of my teachers and gurus, and I love Paramahansa Yogananda so much. And he was asked one day by a student, like, Master, what happens if I decide to leave the spiritual path? What happens if I one day leave? And Paramahansa said, how could you if every human is in the spiritual path? Like, you can't, this is the path. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing. Thank you so much for reminding and also for putting in front, like, the love of God, and the truth of God. Thank you
That's
so
what it
much. I
is.
appreciate
Yep.
it.
Love and light. Thank you so much, my friend. I really enjoyed building with you, and we'll have to do it again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all.
All right, my friend. You be blessed. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye. Everybody, go check her out. I have her links pulled up right now. Anna Dorothy at NUMERANAMX on Instagram, but she has a website. Just look that up. Her prices are affordable. So you don't have to. You're not going to pay an arm and a leg. You can do that. And so I tell you what, if anything, affirmation. If anything, confirmation to confirm that which you already know. It's strong. We need it because we forget. We get discouraged. We get off path. We get off track. Well, we may be on track, but we don't know where we're headed. Just give me a little foresight. Why we're doing this? What's the next step? Most times the next step is a step of faith because you don't know. You don't know where you're headed. You don't know where you're going. So you got to step out in faith. But I think that what helps is knowing that you will be supported in that step of faith. And that's the biggest thing, to know that all things happen for the good of those who love God, the Creator, right? What does that mean? Everything and everyone you love. You get offended. You got enemies. You love. That's how you pass the test. That's how you step into abundance. That's how you release scarcity. Yo, thank you, scarcity, for what you've done. But I know that our relationship is over. Thank you. I'm stepping into bigger and greater things. There's things that I cannot take with me where I'm going. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing. When a student's ready, the teacher will appear. It's deep. You don't have to have permission. You don't need approval. God sees you, everything about you, everything you've done, everything you're thinking, what goes on in secret. That's why we're returning to the secret life, the prayer closet, prayer chambers. That's why the mystics and the Christians, early Christians, that's what they did by themselves. You get by yourself, you tap in, you have your encounter, and your encounter could be a conversation. It doesn't have to be some big mystical experience, which they happen, but you'll find out that the conversation in itself is a big mystical experience. You'll see that the flower, as you gaze upon it, is a mystical experience. The air, the wind when it hits your face and the birds fly past you, it's all mystical. Everything is spiritual. Everything is mystical. And you'll be able to see the depths and the beauty in all things, the positive and the negative, this life, this creation. That's when you know that you're on the path of the mystic. What is it? It is a mindful path. It is a conscious path. It is a path that God speaks through everything. God is speaking, but are you listening? It's said that meditation, prayer is where we talk to God. Meditation is where God talks to us. So much so. Good things ahead, people. I believe in the good things coming. We got another podcast right after this. We're about to go live. So those of you who are listening, those of you who are live, I got another guest scheduled right after this. We're going to go live. So love to see you guys in the chat. If you're not a patron, if you're not supporting me via Patreon, if you're not partnered with me, man, I ask you just to go over there, check out what I have to offer. All of my music's there. A bunch of music that I recorded when I first started rapping. It's comical, if even, because it's not that great. Hey, who knows? Some people think it's my best work to date. But there's 200 plus songs, all of the new stuff that I'm recording as well for the new album, White Magic, that's about to come out. You'll get access to everything that's there. There's behind the scenes stuff. We have a Thursday night prayer session, discussion, meditation. It's a small group thing. You get access to that for any level of giving. That's anywhere from $1 to your heart's desire, whatever God's speaking to you to give. And we have a lot of people who support, and this show is not possible without your support. So thank you, all of you, for believing in the work and for partnering with me. It means the world. Patreon.com/TruthSeekah. Check it out. We're going live again here in the next few minutes with my friend Brent Lee Reagan as we talk about conspiracy theories. Love you guys. Peace, blessings, shalom, shalom, shalom.
Your way is so much higher than mine, so much higher than mine, so much deeper than mine, so much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the TruthSeekah podcast, head over to TruthSeekah.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/TruthSeekah.